Hello, everyone. It's Rodney Allgood. We're here with another episode of the Success Stories. We're doing it a little bit differently. We had a tough time using a normal platform, so we're recording it on Zoom this time. And because of the time difference, our guest is in the UK, and I'm here in Las Vegas, and the time doesn't coordinate. We thought we'd record this for you because this is one of my favorite people, one of the great success stories in the group that I wanted to share. I wanted to have her on, so we're recording this for you. So, Lila, say hello to our group here.
Hi, everybody. So happy to be here.
We have a great story because it was a few years ago. We talked. I was talking to her over Messenger. She had just joined the group, and she felt so desperate because she felt like she had wasted her life in the religion, and that her best years are behind her. And I remember the conversation. It was quite a feeling of desperation, and a lot of people feel like this, especially when they wake up um, in their later years. You could feel like, what can I do now? I used my life in this organization, my good years in the organization, they might feel. And I like to tell people, all we can do is worry about what's in front of us. All we can do is be present and live what's in front of us. And you've done such a great job with that. So I thought I would have you on. So, Lila, please start with your history as a witness. It wasn't your whole life, but explain to us, what brought you into religion, and then what eventually took you out. But what's your experience in the religion?
Well, I thought it was amazing. I'd always had um, a faith of some sort, and the very fact that I was going to live on a paradise earth, see my mum and dad, my children, my family would all be there with me, and it was just wonderful. And I loved the Bible study. I loved the Bible. Um, But over the years, well, I became a pioneer, and I did that for many years. And we had ministry groups at my house. Then I got divorced, and I became a single parent. Um, my my son was in his 20s. The rest of my family didn't become Jehovah's Witnesses, thank goodness. But my son did. He just felt that I was really happy and just wanted a taste of all that. Anyway, once I was on my own, we became sitting targets, really, and we just didn't fit in. And they didn't take to my son at all. He's a big chap, a gentle giant, but everything he did was wrong. And then one day he fell in love with a sister who'd just been reinstated, and that's when everything went wrong. Um, and not only did they turn against him, um, but they turned against me as well. And they started lying, and oh, it was just such an awful time. But it was a wonderful time, really, because it gave me the light bulb moment I so badly needed, because I saw how controlling everything was and how it was just awful. I was taken off pioneering because I was a bad person, because I loved my son and stood by him when, according to them, I shouldn't. They disfellowshipped him, and I was supposed to turn my back on him. And that's when I thought, I cannot believe that a God would do that and expect it of me. And no, absolutely no way on this earth would I do that. So, yeah, I
Love it.
became disassociated. In fact, I told them where to stick their religion, and I'm quite proud to say it, because it was just awful, and that was not love,
Love
not
it
at
that
all.
you were a real mom. You wouldn't put anything
Mm,
between you and your son.
no
That is
way.
okay. So we got on a messenger conversation, I remember, and then I called you. You had just joined the group, and oh, you were so desperate. I think you were in your late 60s, almost 70 years old, and you're like, Rodney, I feel like I'm I missed out on life. Like, you used all these good years in the religion. I just remember you feeling so desperate about that. And we talked, and I know you did the deprogramming boot camp. How did that work for you? Because I know you were really lost when we first talked, and just to see you start to come out of that, how did that course work for you?
Oh, it was amazing. It was just what I needed, because it started to give me confidence, confidence in myself, that it wasn't just me. I wasn't alone in the way I felt about things. And then what was so lovely was it helped me to think things through, because of course, as a Jehovah's Witness, you don't think, you just do. So I was able to think for myself, work it all out. I took loads of notes, watched everything, all the videos and everything. And slowly, I felt that I started to come to life. And different little things that you said. I remember one was like, well, they're comrades, they're not friends, because friends always have your back. I have always remembered that. And, you know, with the shunning, that is just so awful, but I've remembered those words, and it's helped heal my heart so much. And yeah, I mean, the boot camp was just wonderful for me. It was what I needed, and it set me back on to being a proper person again.
For those of you who don't know, the JWD Programming Bootcamp is an online course that I offer a lot of the members of the group. So I'm glad that that worked for you. Now you went on and you got some other coaching from other people, and you told me that that helped to wake you up too. So what happened with you waking up as to your dreams and what was inside of you? How did that come to pass? Because there's so many people that just feel like there's nothing ahead for them, and if you can do it, everyone else can, right? So tell me what woke up in you.
Well, I had a really serious accident, and that, on top of coming out of the JW stuff and everything, was really traumatic. And I was left on crutches for 9 months in excruciating pain. And I thought, well, this really is it now. You know, I've had it. But a lovely lady called Tracy O'Leary, she was a coach. She reached out to me and got me into mindfulness, positivity, law of attraction, all the very good positive things. And because I've always had this spiritual side to me, the JWs couldn't knock that out of me, and I wasn't going to give up on that just because I left the cult. But she said to me, do you have a dream? This was part of the course. And I said, well, I did want to write children's stories ever since I was a little girl, because my dad used to tell me stories. And then as I grew up and had my family, I told them stories. And then I did it with my grandchildren. And I had just had a great granddaughter born. And so it was lovely, because as she grew, we would live in this world of magic and fairies together. So anyway, Tracy said to me, well, write a story. And I thought, I can't do that. You know, all the lack of self-worth all came back in. She said, no, you've got to write it. So she nagged me. So I wrote it and I sent it to her, and she loved it. Because again, I thought, I'm not good enough. You know, it's not going to be any good at all. And she said, well, I've got a publisher friend who I'm going to send it to, and I want to get you in contact. So she did, and he read it. And I said to him, oh, you know, if it's no good, don't worry, you know. And he said to me, I'm a professional, and if it isn't any good, obviously I would have to tell you. And that was good, because then I knew that he would be honest with me. So anyway, I waited 2 weeks and I didn't hear anything from him. And I thought, well, that's it, I've had it, you know. And Tracy said to me, well, phone him. And I did. And he said, oh, but I sent you an email. And I said, well, I haven't had it. And he said, oh, I didn't press send. So he sent it to me. And oh my gosh, I just burst into tears. He just said that I was incredibly talented, that he wanted to take my stories on, that I must just keep writing, and that we would work together. And my 10th book comes out next month. I've written a series of 10 books, 4 of which have been published. The other 5 have been standalone books. And then number 5 of the Magical Adventures with Granny comes out next month. And it's just been wonderful. My little great-granddaughter, who's 5, she really was my inspiration for all my books. And then my second great-granddaughter was born, Gracie, and the 2 girls are in the Magical Adventures with Granny stories. And we just have magical fun, and there's lots of fairy dust.
Great. How awesome is that? You have some books that you can show the audience here?
Well, this is my latest one, The Dragon's Law. And that's, I mean, there's lots of lovely colours in it. It actually was featured on Lulu's Story Time on YouTube, and was read out, which was fabulous. And this one, all my standalone books all have a moral to them. And this one was inspired by Tallulah and Gracie, because Tallulah was starting school and Gracie was starting nursery. And I felt I wanted something to encourage them about friendships. So The Dragon's Law is a story based on realizing that there's laws and rules there that if we use them properly, they're helpful to us. And friendships, you know, to have a really good friend and to be a really good friend. So then I've got the first Magical Adventure with Granny, and that's the one that features myself as Granny and my 2 great-granddaughters. And that is, well, the first one was Crystal the Fairy, the second was Beauty the Blackbird, and yeah, the Bumblebees, Billy the Beast, and the new one out is Sigourney the Seagull. And they're all based actually on adventures that we've had one way and another. So and my other standalone one that is a particular favourite is called The Little Anxious Unicorn, and it helps children to understand why they get anxious about things and how to deal with their emotions, and again about friendship. And then A Scarecrow's Secret is that you never know what you can do until you try. So
Hey, you're a living testimony of that. That's for sure. That is awesome. You see, you will leave a legacy.
that's
Kids,
it.
kids will be reading those books after you're long gone. And
I-
how beautiful on earth when we can do something that our footprints are still in the sand
yes.
years later after we've left
Yeah.
this place. So what would you have to say to people who feel like, you know what, I wasted my whole life in that religion and there's nothing for me, and they're focused on all the couldas, shouldas, and always looking back? What would you have to say to people who have a dream, who think that it's impossible, or they think they're too old for it? What would you say?
I would say that nothing is impossible. I like C.S. Lewis's quote of, you know, having a dream, never feeling that you're too old to have a dream, and never letting anything stand in your way. I'm completely misquoting him, but that was the gist of it. And for me, I would say one of my passions is to encourage people to not give up. Age is a number. It doesn't matter. I mean, I tell everybody I'm 47. It's just the fact that the numbers might be in the wrong order means nothing. You know, so being 74 doesn't mean a thing. It's a number. And I would say, if you really truly have that dream, why are you letting things stand in your way? Because nothing should, because nothing is impossible. It's having the right mindset. And to me, it's so important to realize how powerful our minds are. Like with, you know, somebody could turn around and say, well, you know, I'm really poorly and I can't do this and I can't do that. I understand that and I get that. I am in pain every single day. But if somebody asks me how I am, you know what? I am fine. I'm great. Don't let these things bog you down. rise above it and know that everything is possible. If you want it enough, nothing needs to stand in your way. I just, yeah, there's lots of challenges, but it's quite fun getting over them.
I've got to say, you sound like an absolutely different person than the person I spoke to 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely different, and you seem younger.
Oh, thank you.
Your energy, everything about you seems younger, and you're such a great example for anyone out there that's looking to get on with life. And the beautiful thing is, you are focused on your imagination. Magic is in your imagination. You're focusing on a vision. You're not focused on the past. Now,
No.
now, how has this helped you as you're focusing and using your imagination to come up with these books? How has this helped your healing where you're not focused on the witnesses so much, you're focused on your creations?
I remember you saying that we should not allow being an ex-JW define who we are. Now, that was very powerful to me. And I thought, you know what? I never talk about it. I don't think about it. They're nothing to me. When I first was shunned, it was horrible. And I didn't like it because it was people I thought I was really close to. But now I see them, but I don't see them. They're there all the time, all around me. But I don't see them. They are just nothing to me. And I just bless them with love because they're doing what they think is right. And what other people do and think is nothing to do with me because I'm out there now doing my thing. And I just find that that is really, really important. Yeah, so.
So share with the audience some of the things you've gotten to enjoy as far as the success that you've created. Um, I know your books are in stores, and you never thought that would happen for you, or you've been featured in some things or working with kids. Share some of the things that you've been able to do.
Well, I've been in local community magazines. I've been in the local newspaper. I've been in a national magazine. I tell you, that was really fun because going into a shop or a supermarket and seeing this particular magazine, and there on the corner of the front cover was me. And that was amazing. And it was a two-page spread. I mean, oh, that was such fun. And I said to my friend that I was with at the time, I said, come on, take a picture. There's me next to the magazine with me with a picture. So I've got that in the photo album. I also do radio interviews, BBC Radio Sussex. I'm having my third interview next month, and I love the girls that do it. They've been really super. I've been on other radio shows, and one story, when I go to read to children, I just adore doing that. And there's a place called Great Source Nursery, which is in Worthing, and I go and read to them on quite a regular basis. And it just so happens that it is the house where I grew up. And my parents had it as a hotel. And then, of course, as they got older and moved away, it eventually became a children's nursery. And for me to go back to the house where I grew up for 17 years is extraordinary. And it's something else I can tell the children, and they love it. They ask me, where's your bedroom? And what did you do here? And that's really fun. And yes, I've been to do word fests at libraries. I do book fairs and markets, and I meet incredible people. I do all my own promotional work, and I just love doing it because that was something that was really hard because the JWs always say to you, you mustn't boast, and it's not you. You're taking all the emphasis off Jehovah and all this sort of stuff. And so that was a really big thing for me to do. That was one of my big challenges, but I did it. And so I'm out there and I just say to people, well, this is me and this is what I've done. And, if you're interested, that's lovely. So, yeah, that's what I do. And I love it. And I also, I'm in touch with people like on the different websites. I've met a lot of authors, and the lady that does the Lulu's Storytime on YouTube channel, she's become a really good friend. I also now am part of the Writers Forum, which is based in America, and I did an inspirational talk about 2 or 3 weeks ago, just telling people my journey and the challenges and everything. So yeah, so that was really, really good.
Ladies and gentlemen, I met her at 69 years old. In 5 years, she's done all of this. Amazing. I often say this. You know, if I missed the game last night, a sporting event, and I asked you who won the game, you're simply going to tell me who won. You're not going to tell me who was winning in the second quarter, at halftime, in the third quarter. You're simply going to tell me who won. So in life, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter when you win. It just matters that you do win.
Absolutely true.
And I've had so many conversations where people are lamenting about things they missed doing in their 20s. People are depressed because they woke up from their religion and they're about to turn 40, right? You're telling yourself a story that really is irrelevant the second you change your perspective. Because if she could wake up at 70 years old, when I say wake up, I don't mean wake up from the religion. I mean, wake up to who you are. Wake up to what you have to share with the world. As long as you're breathing, you have a chance to share who you really are with the world. And let me ask you a question, Lila. Do you feel like this is one of the most fulfilling times of your life?
Absolutely. If I had to look back on my life, that would be such a disaster, because the whole of my life was a learning curve. I mean, I've been married 3 times. I just think myself so lucky that I've not been done for murder. I don't look back on that now. That was another person. Me is who I am now and who I will be today and tomorrow. The past is gone. So I don't worry about that because I can't change it, but I can change what's happening to me right now. And all the time I try to stay positive. I love the attitude of gratitude, giving thanks every day for the many, many blessings I have now. And yeah, just living life the best I can and being the best person I can be.
My friend, you are an inspiration to many. Many people will watch this interview. In fact, I think this is one I'll go ahead and share on YouTube too, just to have more people be affected by this, because there's so many people in your position that are living the lie, the limitation, that self-told lie that everything's behind them. No, everything's in front of you. I don't care how old you are. So, my friend, thank you so much for donating your time to this group, to the people that are watching, sharing your story, inspiring many, and much, much more success to you. We'll do it again. You write another 10 books, we'll do this again. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank
All
you.
right. All right, my friend. Take care, and we'll see you.
Thank you.